season, third and then second last year, only 6 points behind Austin Dillon. I think this is the year that Johnny Sauter gets his first NASCAR championship.
Guys, how about Ty Dillon? I mean, this is a championship team from ARCA. They moved to truck.
He's a rookie.
I know he's a rookie, but he did great in his debuts last year, ran strong. His crew chief's name's Flash, Ray. You got to have a crew chief named Flash if you're going to be a champion, don't you?
And if you go to speed.com, you can see my article about all of our picks. And in that, I picked James Buescher. But tonight, I'm going to do a little flip-flop, folks, because you got to go with Ron Hornaday. He's a 4-time champ, and I think this year it could be 5. Hermie?
Well, Ray, I like Joey Coulter. I like the way he learned how to finish these races last year consistently in the top 5 and top 10. I also like the fact that no turnover with this race team. He's got his whole team back. Krista?
My pick is Matt Crafton. He is always in the mix, and this year they have mixed things up. They've switched to Toyota, and he has a new crew chief. Look for Matt Crafton to win his first series title. Rick?
Thanks, Krista. There you have it. We have all made our predictions as far as who is going to win the race. Now you have our picks as far as who will win the championship, the big prize at the end of the year. We're about to see the green flag here at Daytona to kick off the year. Stay with us here on Speed.
Ja, här mullrar de förbi. Ett varv avklarat och man ligger bakom Pacecar ett tag till för att få upp värmen i däcken och i motorerna innan man släpper iväg det hela. Man delar precis som i de högre klasserna eller serierna ska vi kanske kalla dem. Upp fältet i 2 delar. Och man åker förbi pit road under den eller vid den hastigheten som man får hålla i pit road så att alla kan köra på rätt växel och se vilket varvtal man har så att man inte överskrider hastighetsbegränsningen i pit road. Det är väldigt, väldigt viktigt. Och det är väldigt viktigt att få upp lite temperatur i däcken också så att man har lite mera fäste än från en ren kallstart. Vi fick uppleva lite annat härifrån för ett par timmar sedan. Man skickade nämligen upp en satellit, en raket ifrån Cape Kennedy för, vad kan det vara, 3,5 timmar sedan. Om man tittar lite söderut härifrån banan så såg man faktiskt uppskjutningen och det var ganska så fantastiskt. I övrigt så är det en enorm känsla och en ynnest att få vara på plats här också. Det är så trevligt så att komma till Florida, speciellt i februari. Jag vet inte och inte riktigt säker på om jag vill veta hur ni har det där hemma i Sverige, Norge och de andra länderna som tar in det hela. Men jag kan lova att vi har det bättre här i Florida i vilket fall som helst. Vi har haft uppemot 30 grader här nästan hela tiden och vi har fått uppleva mycket racing. Vi har varit och tittat på Camaro Cup som har kört 2 race på Sebring och 3 race faktiskt på Palm Beach International Raceway. Det har varit lite 10 små negerpojkar av det hela när några bilar försvann och inte så många kvar. Men det var kul. Det var ett riktigt roligt äventyr, framförallt för de som var involverade. Det var kul att vara publik också. Sen finns det ju så fruktansvärt mycket annat skoj också att pyssla med när man är här. Vi har lite störningar på bilden får jag höra och vi beklagar det. Det är ingenting som vi kan göra någonting åt. Bilderna ser ut så när vi får dem. Men jag hoppas att det kommer att fixa till sig lite grann. Som sagt, man kan göra mycket här och det finns mycket race-relaterat man kan göra och vi har ju en resa som har kommit hit med 60 personer från Sverige som är här för att titta på NASCAR racing och däribland vår lyckliga vinnare som vann tävlingen som vi hade här på Viasat Motor förra året. Andreas Hansson heter han och han sitter någonstans där uppe på läktaren och myser nu. Jag hoppas att vi kan göra samma sak det här året. Att vi drar igång en tävling och att vi kör en resa nästa år igen. Vi får se. Vi går tillbaka in hos Ty Dillon, lillebror till Austin Dillon och är med om starten som kommer gå alldeles strax. Om vi ser så är bankingen enorm egentligen här. 31 grader, det är svårt att föreställa sig exakt hur pass brant det där egentligen är. Men man kan säga så mycket som att bilarna kör sig själva egentligen. Pit window 35 till 40 varv innan man måste gå in och tanka. Och som vi ser nästan $700,000 i prispengar. 7 gånger 7,49, det är nästan 5 miljoner kronor som de här förarna får dela på. Det låter mycket, men det är små potatis mot vad man kommer att dela ut på söndag. 133 miljoner svenska kronor kommer förarna att dela på där. 133 miljoner. Helt otroligt. 2,5 mile, 4 kilometer alltså tar det att tillryggalägga ett varv. Och då får man räkna med att det tar ungefär runt 50-51 sekunder för de här truckarna att göra det. Men nu är det i alla fall dags att svänga in mot frontstretch genom kurva nummer 4. Och vår pacecar kommer att svänga in och fältet kommer att sticka iväg. Ja, jag kanske går händelserna i förväg lite grann. Det ser ut som vi är på väg ut ur kurva nummer 2. Men det är snart dags i vilket fall som... jag hade rätt från början. Här kommer man genom dogleggen och pacecar har försvunnit in och den gröna flaggan viftar.
Green flag in the air on the 2012 season.
Paulie Haraka in the 5 truck about the 5th, 6th row back was a little bit slow on the start. Trucks went by on both sides of him.
Miguel Paludo on the bottom of the racetrack.
Miguel wasn't slow. He jumped out to a nice little cushion there over James Busher and Nelson Piquet. Those guys are trying to figure out who's going to be second.
Up to speed as they go down the backstretch. The pack working its way out of 2 and down the backstretch.
We saw Ty Dillon doing a lot of pushing in that practice, trying to learn exactly how much he could push. He finds himself in a position there where pushing is an option.
We've already gone 3 wide. Johnny Sauter, the 13 truck, makes it 3 wide on the top side.
Okay, that didn't take long, and that's tight right there, guys.
Ron Hornaday right in the center in the number 9. They're moving around.
They're dancing around, those trucks are.
Dicing, dancing across the stripe. Out in front, that is the 32 of Miguel Paludo. He leads lap number 1 from Daytona.
You remember here a year ago, we ran about 3 or 4 laps like this. It wasn't long until they got strung out single file. I don't see that happening tonight, Phil. Looks like these guys are pretty serious. 3 wide.
Jason Leffler now on the top side. He's getting past.
Look at Ty Dillon dropping back. What a run you get up the middle.
It's Mike Skinner's on board we're looking at. He's going to jump in behind Ron Hornaday to go by that 30 truck.
Yeah, amazing.
Piquet Jr.
How quickly Miguel Paludo, or excuse me, Nelson Piquet Jr. in the 30 has dropped back, and now we see him move back up by that number 8 of Mike Skinner. The momentum going back and forward here at Daytona. Something we'll have to keep our eyes on as they've completed the 2nd lap and on to lap number 3. Jason White now leading the outside line in that 23.
He's got a 2-time winner behind him, Ty Bodine in that 11 truck for Red Horse Racing.
I sure don't want to do any bump drafting quite yet, especially not when you're 2 and 3 wide. These trucks get really sideways, a little squirrely when you try to do that. Wait till you get singled out and then try to learn how to do it.
Already into the 3rd lap, we have a huge pack up front. A medium-sized pack of about 5 trucks behind them, and then a pack that has dropped all the way to the back and 7 trucks running back there. So 3 separate packs running around this track.
Yeah, and it's because of all the action we see in the front here. They just decided maybe to distance themselves from this front pack in case something does go wrong. They can avoid a crash.
Look at that push right there, and look how that 23 truck's dancing around, but they're passing trucks doing it.
Bodine on the back bumper of the 23 of Jason White, pushes Jason White up to battle for 3rd now as the outside line is moving.
Now Todd will come back and hit Jason again and try to get him rolling again, get that momentum going.
One of the things NASCAR mandated is they could not put any type of a lubricant on the bumpers, but what they were able to do was put what they called slick tape on both the rear bumper and then the grill area where these 2 trucks can get together and hopefully not hook up, but be able to push each other without turning one another.
Todd's doing a nice job so far of just giving Jason a gentle nudge, a little push here and there. You can see the momentum. You can see the ground they're making up, and he hasn't got against Jason and stayed there. He's just buck drafted him. He's not hooked to him right now.
Riding along with Ron Hornaday, just in front of him, Todd Bodine in the 11, and right in front of Todd, that 23 of Jason White. Will Todd Bodine push Jason White to the front?
He just about has him up to Paluto. He's side by side right now with Busher for second.
James Busher hugging that yellow line. Miguel Paluto drifts up a couple feet higher. But now the outside line making the move.
Look at the steam starting to come out of Todd's truck. That's what NASCAR did to break up these two truck tandems, and you can see it's working right there. Todd's going to have to lay off of Jason White. His engine will get way too hot.
He's going to have to move out and get some air through that grill opening.
So Todd Bodine shooting a little steam off of his truck early in this race as we're just into the 5th lap. Only 4 laps complete. It's been all Miguel Paluto on that inside line, but a great battle on the outside trying to get up to him.
You can see Todd Bodine sort of laying out to the outside, Phil, getting some air into the nose of that truck. It got too hot with him, and he's having to go into a bit of defensive mode here, not able to push Jason anymore.
Remember, you have to be around at the end to have a shot at winning, and Todd Bodine, if he would have continued to stay right up behind Jason White, he wouldn't have been there. He would have burnt that engine up.
Let's head back down to pit road and talk a little bit about the grill openings with Ray Dunlap.
And Rick, what they did, they made a change. They put the grill opening right in the center. It's 12 by 6. That gives you 72 square inches. And it looked to me like every single truck had them wide open. But most of the drivers told me if you stay tucked up too long, you go from 106 degrees to 250 in just a few seconds. Once you pull back out, you can get them to cool down pretty quickly.
Still 2 by 2 as they enter turn number 1. Out in front, Miguel Paluto, James Busher, Brad Keselowski's made his way up to 3rd. Cale Gale, Joey Coulter, your top 5.
Now look what Todd's doing here, Phil. We see the telemetry from Todd's truck. He's way out to the right side trying to push on Jason White down in the middle of the corner, maybe trying to find the best of both worlds. A little push for Jason and a little air into that nose.
Yeah, I'm not sure with that grill opening being right in the center, as you see speeds upwards of 190 miles an hour. I'm not sure you can get far enough over to do any good and still get any air in that grill.
Oh, but it feels so good, doesn't it? We're going to town now. Oh, wait. We got some issues with my temperature. I got to slow back down.
Todd Bodine's going to have to keep an eye on that temperature gauge as we saw a little bit of steam early on. Let's go back trackside to Hermie Sadler.
Yeah, I want to give an update on Ty Dillon. Obviously, he started up front in that black number 3 truck. Fell almost to the back of the lead pack in the first 2 laps and has been slowly trying to pick the right lane to get his way back to the front. He's got a lot of experience on the radio with him. Spotter Kevin Hamlin, a very experienced spotter in the Sprint Cup Series as well, trying to guide young Ty Dillon back to the front, urging him to be patient. Long way to go, but Ty Dillon trying to make up for ground he lost in the first couple laps.
See him 3 wide there. You hear Ty Dillon backing off the throttle a little bit.
And Hermie, you used a great word there, patience. I know it's difficult to talk about patience when we just mentioned 191 miles an hour, 3 wide, but at the same time, you can't win it unless you're there at the end. They stay 3 wide in this big pack.
Jason Leffler wanting to get a little racy. He's got a push from Max Gresham there right on his tailgate, and they're pushing their way toward the front, going around Ron Hornaday.
Ron's stuck in the middle normally, unless he has a little bit of help, that he's going to lose some ground.
Trying to side draft off of some of the trucks around him, trying to hold that position. But again, the inside line that's been hugging that yellow line has not lost their spots. Miguel Paluto, James Busher, Brad Keselowski, Cale Gale, Joey Coulter still holding on to the top 5 spots. Then it's Brendan Gaughan, Justin Lofton, Dusty Davis, Jason White, and Todd Bodine, your top 10. 8 laps in the books already, but 100 laps until we see the checker. Stay with us.
Ja, vår pole sitter Miguel Paludo och håller i ledningen. Vi hade väl kanske nästan förväntat oss att han skulle glida bakåt lite grann, men han som satt på outside pole, Nelson Piquet Jr, har glidit bakåt i fältet. Vi har fått upp i stället bland annat då James Busher nummer 31 och Brad Keselowski nummer 19 också har tagit sig upp en bra bit i fältet. De bildstörningar som vi har haft tidigare, ska jag berätta också, beror på väderstörningar i upplänkningen ifrån amerikanska östkusten till satelliter. Och För dig som inte riktigt tyckte om att jag inte hade läst på om sponsorn kan jag ju berätta att det är ett stort energiföretag i USA. Hoppas det känns mycket bättre nu. Jag har tidigare idag också träffat en av mina favoriter.